Well, ladies and gentlemen, final night of the 2023 Jackson Nationals. There's $25,000 on the line, and it's gonna be a heck of a show. So before we get things started tonight, here's a look at the racing surface. Third and final show of this weekend's Jackson Nationals. It has been really cool to see this racetrack, a brand new facility for myself. And it's been awesome that we've had a lot of speed in the 1T. Shark Racing and my guys have got me up to speed quickly at this racetrack. And now to finish things off, we are racing for $25,000. So today is not a completely new show. We actually racked up points between the Thursday and Friday prelims to set us up now for this evening. The 1T is currently sitting 7th in points, which lines us up on the front row inside on the pole of our qualifier, and the winner of each qualifier will go to the dash, and then 2nd through 4th will lock into the A, and the rest will go to the lower mains. So we're just going to get one hot lap session, then we're going to go into that qualifier, which would technically also be just like a heat race. So I'm on the pole and I'm next to my Shark Racing teammate Logan Schuhart. So the goal is you just got to get a good start, lead all the laps, and then the winner, like I said, will transfer directly into the dash. Being in the dash is so key, as Jackson I feel like is a little bit difficult to pass depending on the track conditions. But that's kind of a rundown on what tonight will look like. I'm sure it's going to be a packed house. Everyone is going to be on their A game, of course, with some extra money on the line, and we just got to do our job and show up like it's any other night. Here soon we'll have the drivers meeting, get suited up, get some engine heat, we'll get that hot lap session, and then roll into all the action. Well, really good start to our finale here at the Jackson Nationals. Just finished up hot laps. And now hot laps means nothing, it pays nothing, but at the end of it, the 1T was at the top of the charts. Laid down a really good time, and my car just feels so comfortable. Like the racing surface is still pretty narrow, little slicker in 1 and 2 than 3 and 4, but between the lanes that we're working with, I could pretty much run anywhere and make speed. At a place like this, that is very key. So now moving into the heat race, probably gonna see a similar track, maybe a little bit slicker in some spots. Originally, I told you I was gonna be starting next to my teammate Logan Schuhart. Well, actually, some cars dropped out coming into tonight's finale, so they were scheduled to have 4 heats. Now they only have 3, so that changes who I'm up against, which is nice because it gives us both the opportunity to make it in the dash in separate heat races. That will be coming up soon. Really focused in here that we gotta do our job. This is a big factor in our night because we need to get in the dash to have a chance to start in those first few rows.
Center of the back straightaway, Tanner Holmes, Brock Zierfoss setting the pace, winner to that all-important King of the Hill competition. Nate Peterson waits to give him the sign on the El Bandito Yankee Tequila flag stand, and out of 4, we're green.
Good start for Tanner Holmes. He'll lead into turn 1. Brock Zierfoss trying to make it work on the top side of the speedway. Skylar Prohaska way up high in 1 and 2 as well. Zierfoss right with Tanner Holmes as they reach corner number 3.
Good move there for Holmes, and he takes the race lead, crosses the flag stand first on lap number 1. One car way out over the cushion. It's Caleb Johnson. He reels it back in. We'll stay clean and green. Right now, the 7S of Price is in that final transfer spot with Skylar Prohaska trying to run him down.
Lap times in the mid-13-second bracket by your race leader as they complete the second of 10 laps.
And what a dream weekend this must be for the driver of that 1T, Tanner Holmes, stepping into the Shark Racing ride. His first World of Outlaw competition in that ride. Goes quick time his first night out. He's high enough in points to be on the pole of one of these qualifiers, and now running away from the rest of the field here in qualifier number 2 is Tanner Holmes.
Tanner Holmes 0.2 of a second quicker than anyone else in this second qualifier. 2 laps remaining for the driver out of Jacksonville, Oregon.
And he's down the back straightaway for the final, to take the white flag next time. Brock Zierfoss, Scott Boguski, Chase Randall, and Robbie Price still your top 5. Skylar Prohaska's not been able to carve into that 1.5 second gap for the final transfer spot.
Leader out of turn 2 and down the long back straightaway. He'll race into corner number 3 and see the checkered flag. Tanner Holmes taking the win in qualifier number 2. Brock Zierfoss will cross the line in the second position. Scott Boguski third. Fourth will go to Chase Randall, and Robbie Price completes the top 5.
Really stellar heat race for the 1T. Pretty simple, 10 laps, started on the pole, did our job by getting the jump. That was, I mean, the race into turn 1 was the race. The surface is actually really fast because they ended up going and working 1 and 2 a little bit. So that was the end that was starting to get slick, but brought some grip back. And I mean, I don't know, I guess how it probably looked is exactly how it felt. Just really good. Car's super comfortable. I can move around, you know, put it in different spots, and it just drives and has good drive and is so stable. Stable's a good word. So we did exactly what we had to do. Now we're gonna be in the top 8, which I thought it was a dash. I guess it's actually a king of the hill. I'll find out some more information on exactly how that's going to work, but the good news is we're going to be in the first 4 rows of tonight's $25,000 to win feature.
So I was mistaken. We actually are not doing a dash up next. It's actually called a king of the hill, which is basically like a time trial version of the pole shuffle. So there's 2 cars out on track for 2 laps, and whoever turns the fastest lap time moves on to the next round.
We are ready to fire the engines for round 1 of the King of the Hill Challenge here at the AGCO Jackson Nationals, powered by Fendt. Cars begin to accelerate. Green flag will wave this time by. Tanner Holmes on the clock, as is Justin Sanders. Lap number 1 about to be completed. The time for Tanner Holmes, a 13:7:89. Lap 1 for Justin Sanders, 13:9:51. Holmes faster on lap number 1. Second lap time for Tanner Holmes, 13:9:11. He'll stay with a 13:7:89. Justin Sanders tops him right at the very end, a 13:7:82. So on lap 2, Justin Sanders gets the win. Tanner Holmes will start 8th in tonight's feature.
And it's by 7 thousandths of a second. Justin Sanders tops him to move on to the next round.
So unfortunately, we got bumped out in the first round of the King of the Hill. Didn't lay down a bad time, just Justin Sanders and I were literally identical. I think he was a 13:7:82 and I was a 13:7:89. So we basically ran the exact same lap. He moved on and was up against Sweet, and I think Sweet beat him. So we'll be in row number 4, starting 8th here for 35 laps. Happy with our car. That gave us a chance to have a little bit of a fuel load and just feel where the racetrack's at. It's still pretty quick and it's holding a good amount of moisture. I think it's gonna widen out, but it might be fast for a minute, and just not really sure what to expect. Kind of trying to keep an open mind here because we've seen multiple surfaces as the days have went on in Jackson, and we just got to see what they do before we roll out, and then once we get out there, really got to pay attention throughout the race to what other cars are doing around us, who's making speed, how we're making speed, and how that feels with the balance of the 1T. Gonna be strapping in soon, feeling really good that we're starting inside the top 10 and just want to, you know, get a good start, maintain, and try to attack moving forward. So I think more than anything, this race is going to be about endurance, you know, running the most consistent laps all the way through 35, as hard as you can, as consistent as you can, keep your car stable, balanced, momentum rolling. All that stuff's going to be what we're going to have to do. And then also attacking. The word I use, attack. That's how the Outlaw guys do it. That's how we got to do it. So going to be all about the start, and if we get rolling, there's a good chance we could go green the whole time, and we just got to get in a rhythm and go. like, I feel like where we're at is really good. I don't know, it's kind of just 35 laps of just nothing, but like, I mean, as far as like, once Logan got by, I felt like I was right there with him. If I hit things right, I got, you know, a little bit ground. Thank you. All right, just wrapped up the A main event. I have a fan that wants to be in the video. What's your name, bud?
Nathan.
Nathan, and Nathan just got some new merchandise here. Yep. Where are you from?
Mankato, Minnesota.
And what'd you think of the racetrack tonight?
You know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, very fast and.
Yeah, the grip really came back through the feature, you know, a lot. Thank you so much for stopping by. Ended up being a solid night for our team. Consistent throughout the weekend with the 1T. Started 8th, finished 7th. We're just gonna wrap up some stuff with the car and then we'll kind of get a full recap. Like I just said though, the surface ended up staying much quicker than I thought it would. You know, in previous nights it kind of got slick and at some point slowed down, but throughout 35 laps, like it never really did slow down, and for the most part just stayed dirty, you know, from a lane and a half off the bottom up, and then finally we had a yellow there at the end and it kind of cleaned off to where guys could move around, but just a different surface than what we were expecting tonight at Jackson, and that's where I said you have to stay on your toes, you have to be ready for anything, you know, come into new places, you just never know what to expect. Well, the Jackson Motorplex this weekend delivered me the 3 best career finishes I have with the World of Outlaws. A 3rd, a 10th, and a 7th place run. I would say it was a solid 3 nights here at the Jackson Nationals. In today's A main event, it ended up kind of just turning into a train around the bottom. They came out here and worked the surface, and I thought it was honestly going to blow off. I mean, not quickly, but I thought it would be fast for a minute, and then it would kind of start to take its shape, build character, and start to get wide. And it really just didn't. The whole track was very dirty for a majority of the A, and a lot of us were just kind of running around the bottom and all very similar in speed. Like you weren't really making up ground on the cars in front of you, but you weren't really, you know, being challenged either by the cars behind you. I made one pass on the start, and then I believe another car in front of me had a mechanical failure, so at one point I was in 6th, kind of just right behind Donnie, seeing what he was doing and trying to kind of keep my eye open if anyone started to move around. But for the most part, cars were down low. My teammate Logan Schuhart did sneak by me somewhere in the middle of the race, kind of running more of a diamond line, so I also tried that once he got past me and I saw that he was making up some ground. That, and then we had a yellow with 5 laps to go, which kind of shook things up, but still the racing surface, it finally got a chance to get rolled in, but was still fast, and you know, it was just kind of difficult to make moves. So that was a look at our A main event. Glad that we were able to go forward 1 spot, and all the cars in front of us, I mean, they're so fast, and you know, it's key to have the chance to maybe start ahead of them, or you just got to have a surface where you're able to race and try to get by them. Overall though, it was a super fun weekend with the Shark Racing crew. I can't thank them enough for giving me this opportunity to pilot this car and just, you know, race with the greatest show on dirt. I mean, we're racing with the best 410 sprint car drivers in the country, and I got great people around me to kind of finish off the rest of this season. So Bobby Allen, Blake, and Tyler, my crew guys, big thanks to them, as well as Pell's Tire Service, Low E, Lakeside, Smith Titanium, and DMI. Those guys are big partners on the 1T and making it happen. Glad that we just had a solid weekend. We were consistent, the car had speed, I felt more comfortable than ever, and it puts a big smile on my face, and you know, like I said, I don't know what else to say besides I'm ready to take on the rest of the tour, see many different tracks, experience things with the team, and just try to get closer to that top spot and try to get our first Outlaw win. Alright, see you guys all in the next video. That's the Jackson Nationals, Jackson Motorplex 2023. See you all in the next one. Deuces.